Some may say that where there is a SABC board, there is possible controversy. The organ responsible for making sure that the public broadcaster doesn't sway from its mandate has had some challenges after 2012. But by 2016, things got to the point where Parliament decided to set up an ad hoc committee to look into the fitness of the board at the time. This decision followed public concerns about lapses of governance and management within the SABC.
The first thing is that we're hoping that the SABC returns to its former glory. We're also hoping that the product of our work would be able to inform the interim board and eventually the permanent board in terms of the priority areas that need to be focused on so that the SABC does what is expected of it to be done. And then, of course, finally, we're hoping that the oversight of Parliament begins to do what we are expected to do as members of Parliament. So at the end of the day, I think it's about the integrity of Parliament. I think it's about the efficiency and effectiveness of the SABC. And I think it's about making sure that we employ or we deploy people to boards of SOEs that are truly competent to do what it is that they're expected to do.
After the permanent board was appointed following the inquiry, it was relatively smooth sailing at board level. But by 2013, the public broadcaster found itself without a board for nearly 6 months, until the current board, headed by Kachutelo Ramukumba, was appointed. President Cyril Ramaphosa's hand was forced by litigation from civil society groups to announce the names of the 12 successful candidates.
While the SABC appointment process marks significant progress from the apartheid-era state broadcaster model, real transformation requires deeper structural changes. There remains a degree of political influence, process delays, and limited public participation in the current model. The SABC can better serve the public when its leadership is selected through truly transparent, independent, merit-based processes that prioritize the requisite expertise. This requires clear appointment criteria, meaningful citizen participation in appointment and governance oversight mechanisms, and special protection from political influence. This includes, or that would include, a greater degree of financial independence.
Which brings us to how the board is appointed. Parliament's Communications and Digital Technologies Portfolio Committee calls for nominations or applications. The shortlisting and interviewing process is done in an open and transparent manner in the committee, with members of the public being able to comment on candidates. After deliberation, the committee takes the names to the National Assembly that ultimately recommends the individuals to the President. But how has the process around the appointment of the SABC board changed? A civil society group has emphasized the importance of public participation.
Public involvement, in fact, at the SABC as a public broadcaster is important, and it should not only be restricted to board appointments. More needs to be done by the SABC to engage the public more in content and news and programming and, any ways that are possible to ensure that, the SABC actually, is accountable to the public, because, when there are public participation mechanisms, there is a way for the public to enforce accountability, to enforce transparency, at the SABC.
Zalene, Merrington, SABC News, Parliament.